so as requested, this video is for newbies to yoga, or people that have not tried yoga in the past. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. There's going to be lots and lots of explanation and guidance, and we're just going to work through some of the core postures, some seated, some standing. Take it nice and slowly, and again just focus on that alignment, so where your feet should be, where your hands should be, what your hips should be doing, your shoulders, etc, etc. So perfect place to start. So when you're all ready, just coming down onto the floor. Don't worry, you've not got a mat, doesn't matter at all, as long as you can sit comfortably. Just begin to ground down. So this is called Sukhasana, easy seated pose. If you find when you're in cross-legged that your knees are up quite high and it's a little bit uncomfortable, then just grab a cushion or a book or something. If you've got a yoga block, you can use one. Place it under the sit bones, but a cushion is absolutely fine. So we're going to begin to close the eyes and just lengthen up nice and long in the spine. And begin to slow the breath down. So nice big long inhales through the nose and nice long exhales through the nose. So yogic square breathing should be of a count of 4, maybe 5, but as long as your inhale and exhale are relatively the same in length, then that is brilliant. So it's a nice steady breath. As you breathe in, you should notice how the rib cage rises, how the belly rises, and then as you breathe out, you might notice your belly drop down and the rib cage falls. So just begin to bring your awareness to your breath, slowing it down, making that inhale and exhale nice and smooth. Just softening through the body, so relaxing through the shoulders, relaxing through the face, and at the same time we're going to grow up nice and tall, so lengthening up through the spine, lifting the crown of the head slightly, but also feeling nice and grounded, so our sit bones are firmly rooting down into the earth. So in yoga we always work from the ground up, so we always set our foundations first and then build on them. So as long as you have those basic foundations, then you have the essence of your yoga practice. You can add or take away as much on top of that, but that very core basic foundations is all you need. Start practicing yoga. So from here we're going to blink our eyes open, just nice and gently, keeping the gaze low if that feels good. And then as you breathe in, we're going to inhale and take our arms out nice and wide, reaching them all the way up above our head, relaxing down through the shoulders. So making sure your shoulders aren't up by your ears, down, relaxing the shoulders. Keep your biceps back so that they can be in line with your ears. Beautiful. So we'll take it into some side stretches. When you're ready, we're going to release our left hand down, sweeping our right arm over. Keep reaching with those right fingers. Take the gaze up underneath the right arm. Unless there's any tension in the neck here, in which case you can just release the neck down. But what you want to make sure is your left shoulder isn't hunching up into your ear. Nice big breath, lengthening down that right side of the body, drawing the right hip down, reaching the right fingers away. And inhale, come back to center. So reach up nice and tall again, shoulders relax down. This time that's release the right hand down and sweep the left fingertips across. So all those cues again, let's make sure our right shoulder is nice and relaxed. Little bend in that right elbow as we breathe into our left side body, pressing this left hip bone down into the ground, reaching those left fingertips away. and gently releasing back to center. So one more time, we're going to reach up, shoulders relax, and this time we're going to take it into a twist. So rotating the body round to the left, drop your right hand down to your left knee, release your left hand behind you, coming into a spinal twist. So just gently bringing that rotation into the middle of your back, so your thoracic spine. Keep opening through this left shoulder. Keep your neck in line with your spine, so don't just crane your neck round behind you. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Gently pressing onto that left knee with your right hand. Maybe releasing that left shoulder back just a little bit more. Releasing when you're ready, coming back to center. Reaching those arms up above you, shoulders relax. This time rotate round to the right, take it into the twist. So left hand comes down to the right knee and the right hand releases behind your back. Keep that spine long, so don't lean backwards or forwards. Grow nice and tall. And use your breath. So as you breathe in, make a little bit of space in the body, lengthen up through the spine. As you breathe out, gently take the twist just a little bit deeper. Lovely. When you're ready, coming back to center, sweeping those arms up one more time. We're going to bring them down in front of us and just come into a little forward bend. So hands released to the floor. As we walk forwards with our hands, begin to press the ground away and draw your tailbone, so your coccyx, coming all the way down to the ground. Keep that spine nice and long. Keep walking the fingers forward. Keep pressing the coccyx back. And we're just going to rock gently from side to side. So releasing off through those hips. Working into the lumbar spine. A little bit of movement into the shoulders there. Should feel quite nice. Then when you're ready, coming all the way back. So we're walking those hands back. And we're going to make our way onto all fours. So into our tabletop position. So just removing your cushion if you're sat on one. And just spinning round. So we're on all fours. So in tabletop, this way we want our wrists below our shoulders and our knees below our hips. Tops of the feet pressing into the ground. Gently pulling that belly button in towards the spine. So we're hugging the belly button in. Pressing down through all four corners of the hands, particularly into the base of the thumb and the index finger. Keeping this back nice and flat. So what we don't want is this upper back to drop down in between the shoulder blades. Keep everything nice and strong, nice and switched on. And we'll take it into a cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop your belly down, lift the gaze, take the chest forwards, gaze forwards. As you exhale, press the ground away, round through the spine, chin comes to chest, into your cat. And again, so move with your breath as you inhale through to your cow. Have a little sense here that you're pulling the body forwards. So if you had a little torch shining out of your heart, be shining forwards rather than down. Exhale, press the mat away, stretch the skin across the back. Beautiful, come back down to center. So we come to that neutral spine again, and this time we're going to take our left leg back. So I'm going to shuffle forward. So left leg back, balls of the feet down to the ground. Keep those hips nice and square. Just begin to rock backwards and forwards. So you should hopefully feel a nice little stretch into your hamstring to the back of that left leg. And then from here, we're going to drop that left heel down. Ground down into our right arm and sweep this left arm all the way up and over. Now this feels a little bit precarious. You can just move those right toes back so you've got a nice, a better base for balancing on. Again, that's lengthened through this left arm as we did in our side stretch. Opening through the chest, so beginning to spiral that torso all the way around, facing up to the sky. Nice deep breaths. Beautiful. Exhale, release it all the way back down. So left hand comes back, spinning round, squaring off those hips, bring the left left knee back under the left hip. You can take a cat-cow here. So let everything realign. Any movements are fine. You know, if you want to rock the hips from side to side, do whatever you need to do. That feels like a good release. So always trust your body. So we'll go on the other side. So right toes come back, and let's begin to rock backwards and forwards. So really feel that stretch in the right hamstring. Then when you're ready, ground down into your left hand. Drop your right heel, windmill the right arm all the way up and over. So if you want to here, just bring your left toes back. Begin to twist through the spine, taking the gaze up under the right arm, rotating through the torso and the chest. Breathing into the right side, body staying with your lovely smooth breaths. One more breath here. And gently release that right hand all the way back down. So always be mindful of your movement, squaring those hips back off, releasing the right knee back down into tabletop. Let's take a final cat-cow. Remembering, inhale for a cow, exhaling into your cat. Beautiful, releasing back, neutral spine. Take your knees out nice and wide. Let's release our sit bones back to our heels into a child's pose. Walking the hands forwards, releasing the chest down to the ground. So if you feel here that your bottom is up in the air and it's a little bit uncomfortable, again, grab your cushion. So options, you can place one underneath the sit bones, or you can always bring one round to the front of your mat and place it underneath your head or your chest. So use your cushions, use props in yoga. There's no shame in using props, they're here to help us. But this is a pose you can come to at any point throughout any class if you just want to come back down to your mat. We're getting a lovely spinal extension here, so we're lengthening, pressing that tailbone away, relaxing through the shoulder blades, stretching through the armpits. Beautiful. So next inhale, we're going to come all the way back up into our tabletop, squaring everything off. So from here, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So you may or may not be familiar, but it's really important to get that the nice foundations I was talking about. So just bring your hands, one hand print a little bit further forwards on your mat or the floor. Spread through the fingers. Again, actively press down into the base of the thumb and the index finger. And then gently just externally rotate. So gently roll those elbows out so they're facing the front of the room. And we're going to tuck our toes under. So all 10 toes, connection with the floor. And if it feels okay, then we're just going to lift our hips up and all the way back into our downward facing dog. So you can have a little walk of your dog here. So just start to bend into one leg, bend into the other. Each time you're going to bend one leg, you're going to peel the opposite heel all the way down towards the floor. Chest comes down towards the opposite thigh. Make sure there's no tension in your neck, so give that neck a little shake. Keep pressing through the hands and actively wrap your shoulder blades around your back. So we're creating space between the shoulders and the ears, keeping that spine lovely and long. When you're ready, just coming to a stillness, so just releasing those heels down and taking 3 nice deep breaths here in your downward dog. In and out through the nose, nice, slow, smooth, steady breaths. Beautiful. So from here, we're just going to gently begin to walk our feet forward. So little baby steps, walking our feet all the way to the front of our mat, taking the feet between the hands, coming to our forward fold, so our halfway lift. So we're going to take our hands to our shins to begin with and lengthen through our spine. So nice flat back. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together, wrapping them round the back. Lengthening, lengthening. As you breathe out, forward fold, Uttanasana. So you can keep a little bend in the knees here. And just let everything go. So let the head hang heavy, let the neck be free. Keep sending your sit bones up to the sky. Keep releasing your head down to the ground. So it's a nice place to take hold of your opposite elbows. And just gently sway from side to side. So this is Uttanasana or Ragdoll. But we're breathing into the back of those legs. Working into those hamstrings. Don't worry if you're further up here, absolutely fine. Just keep releasing through the back of the legs. Beautiful, last breath. And when you're ready, we're going to roll up nice and slowly. Rolling up through the spine, stacking the vertebrae one by one. Releasing those shoulders and standing up nice and tall. Coming to our mountain pose, Tadasana. So we'll come to front on. So you want your feet underneath your hip points. Pelvis is tucked underneath. So you don't want to arch into that lower back. You want to gently bring that tailbone down. And then releasing the shoulders down the back. Palms facing forwards, lifting the crown of the head, lifting the chin. Lovely, nice deep breaths. So on your inhale, sweeping those arms up nice and wide. We're going to interlace our fingers and release our index fingers. I'm coming back so you can see me. So our index fingers are pointing up to the sky, shoulders are relaxed. We're going to take it into a side bend. So as you inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. As you exhale, come down to your left. So try and keep the biceps by the ears, the shoulders relaxed. Keep pressing those hips out to the right. So to help here, you can take your left hand and just draw your right arm over a little bit more. Keep this right shoulder open. Keep sending the hips out to the right. So you should feel a really deep stretch down the right side body here. Working into those love handles, into all that lovely side body. Beautiful, come back to center. Interlace those fingers again. Release the index fingers, roll those shoulders down the back. Nice deep breath in as you exhale. Come down to the right this time. So really press those hips out to the left. Drawing this left arm all the way across. You can use your right hand to give it a little help. Keep that left shoulder open so don't roll forwards here to achieve a deeper bend. Staying nice and flat from side on. Gently releasing back to center. Beautiful, guys. One more time. I'm going to interlace those fingers, release the fingers. This time we're going to take a gentle little back bend. So from here, I just want you to begin to relax those shoulders and begin to send your hips forwards and your gaze up. So we're gently going to draw a line in the ceiling, coming into a little back bend. So don't strain yourself any too far here. Don't crunch into the lower back. So you want this bend to come from the middle part of your back. So have a sense of lifting up and out of your pelvis, sending the hips forward, relaxing the shoulders down the back, sending that heart all the way up to the sky, and gently releasing back to center. Beautiful. We're going to come down with a nice forward fold and a nice flat back, bringing the hands through the middle of the eyes and the forehead. Really gently releasing all the way back down into that forward fold just to counter those stretches. So let everything go. Breathing here just for a minute. You stay there. I'm just going to quickly let my cat in. One more breath. Well done. Sorry about that. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently, again, sweeping those arms out nice and wide, bend in the knees, come all the way back up to standing. Exhale, release the hands to heart center. Beautiful, everyone. So we're going to work through a few standing postures now. So we're going to begin in Warrior One. So I want you to take your hands to your hips and just take a nice big step forward with your left foot and bring that right foot all the way back. So we're going to drop that right heel to about 45 degrees. But the important thing here is to keep rotating those hips back round so they're facing forwards. So your hips are square to the front of your mat. And then take a nice deep bend into that left knee. So sinking down into your lunge, pressing into the back edge of the right foot, grounding down into the sole of the left foot, and finally sweeping your arms up above your head, relaxing the shoulders. If you can, bring the hands to prayer. If that's not comfortable, bring your hands parallel, but just keep sinking. So just your feet, wherever feels good, into this bend. Keep this back leg nice and strong, so keep that right knee lifted. Sinking down, Warrior One, shoulders relax, lower ribs hug in, tailbone tucks under slightly. Gaze comes up towards your hands if that feels comfortable. So it's Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior One. Let's have 3 nice deep breaths here so we can really feel the posture and go through all those alignments in our head. So keep drawing the left hip back, bring this right hip forwards. We want to keep those hips nice and square. Don't lose that bend in your left knee. Beautiful, last breath. And we're going to open this out, so Warrior Two. We're going to drop our right heel down, so it's parallel with the back of our mat, 90 degrees. Open our arms out and open our hips out, and sink forward into another lunge. So sometimes you can make your feet a little bit wider in Warrior Two. Keep those shoulders relaxed and a nice deep lunge. So the alignments for Warrior Two are back heel, 90 degrees. Shoulders are aligned above your hips, so we've got a nice straight torso, we're not leaning forwards. And a nice deep bend in that left knee. Keep this left thigh externally rotating, don't let it fold in on itself. And take the gaze in front of you, so over your left middle fingers. 3 nice deep breaths now. Sink a little deeper if you can. Relaxing the shoulders. Grounding down into your foundations. Beautiful, one more breath. Lovely, well done everyone. Just release off through the left front leg. We're just going to pivot on this back foot. So this time we're going to come into a high lunge. So I want you to lift your right heel off the floor. If that's really uncomfortable, you can release it down. You might want to step it in just a little bit. And then again sinking into a nice deep lunge. But bring your awareness into your back leg here. So keep this leg lifted as high as you can. Back heel is lifted as high as you can. Pressing through that back heel. So pressing it away from you. Reaching the arms up. Spread the fingers, hands are parallel, sinking nice and low. High lunge. So it's very similar to Warrior One, but we've got our back heel lifted. Whole front body is open. 2 more breaths. Keep lifting that right knee. Keep squaring those hips off. Beautiful, high lunge, bring the hands back down to the heart. This is a lovely place to move into a little balance. So Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. So I want you to keep your left foot exactly where it is. Hop that right foot in just a little bit. And we're going to just bounce backwards and forwards on that back heel. So we're going to begin to bring that weight into our left foot. Find something to focus on. And then when you're ready, we're just going to gently lift through the back leg, extend through the left leg, and come into a nice standing stick pose. So we look like a capital T from the side. So we're going to keep releasing our chest down, and we're going to keep lifting our back leg. Keep those hips nice and square. Finding something to focus on. If you're not all the way down, don't worry. If you're up here, absolutely fine. Just begin to concentrate on balancing on one leg. So this left leg is as strong as we can make it. Lift that kneecap, engage the glute, engage the quad. If you fall out, just come straight back in. 2 more breaths. So try and still the mind. Beautiful. So the tricky part now is we're going to release all the way back, nice and gracefully. Slow motion, beautiful. Opening the arms back up. Let's sink into our warrior 2 for a couple of breaths. So again, hips are nice and open. Spreading through the arms. So imagine someone's pulling your fingertips in opposite directions. And then gently just release off of this front knee. So we're going to lengthen out through this left leg. Coming into a triangle pose, Trikonasana. So from here, we're going to begin to hinge at our hips. So you can bring your hands to your hips if you want to feel this. So we're going to find a little hip crease here. Just begin to dig our hand in. So shifting those hips all the way. So we're tilting that pelvis to the side. Leaning with our left fingertips to the front of our mats. When we can't reach any further, we're just going to keep our torso exactly as it is, but windmill our arms. So left hand comes down, right fingertips reach up. So in our triangle pose, the 3 important things are is don't lock this knee joint out, so keep a little micro bend in it. Open through the right shoulder. And we don't want to roll forwards or stick our bottoms out to try and come down nice and low. So the most important part is the rotation again. So we're shining our heart all the way in front of us. And where your left hand is really doesn't matter. If you're up here, absolutely fine. As long as this right shoulder is open, you have the essence of your Trikonasana. So 2 more breaths here. Any tension in the neck, always just release your head down to the ground. Beautiful. We're going to gently release. So rolling up nice and slowly. Release the hands to the hips and just turn your left toes around so they're both facing forwards. Beautiful. So well done everyone. We're halfway through. So we'll take a little forward fold, which should feel quite nice. Release after that, the work on that side. So hands come to hips. Just gently rock the hips forward, take the gaze up. Let's get some nice long length in our spine. Then as you breathe out, hinge at your hips. So use your hands again to shift that pelvis. So we're going to keep our bottom where it is and bring our chest and our head forwards. Hinging, hinging, hinging. When you feel ready, you're going to release your hands all the way down towards the ground. If you can't quite reach, again, use a bolster, use a block or a book or something. If you can, brilliant. So you've got that nice long spine. Take a nice deep breath to create some length. And then as you exhale, this time we're going to let everything go. So drop the head, drop the neck. Come down into your forward fold. If you want to, you can reach and take hold of your feet. Maybe drawing the head and the chest down a little bit more. Keep that weight in the heels. And just keep releasing. So as we breathe in, hollow out your belly, draw your navel to spine. As you breathe out, see if you can drop your head just a little bit lower. So keep working with your breath. Feeling a lovely stretch in the hamstrings, in the adductor muscles. Going all the way up into those glutes. Beautiful, gently release. So let's bring our hands back to begin with, and lengthen through the spine. So nice and slowly we're going to come out of this forward fold. So one hand to the hip and then the other, and we'll gently come up. Nice and slowly, allowing that blood flow to just gradually return. Beautiful. Take a drink if you need to here, guys. We're just going to spin around. So we're going to turn all the way around on our mats. Coming into our warrior one on the other side. So you might want to bring your hands to the hips, shuffle the feet around. So you want to sink again down into this right leg, square those hips off and drop that back heel to 45 degrees or around about that now. So if you find this a little bit tough, take your feet a bit further apart. So let there be a little space between your feet on the mat. Sink those hips down. Beautiful. Face the hips forwards. When you're ready, taking the arms up. So remembering, hands coming to prayer, or you can have them parallel, sinking through the hips, taking the gaze up, hugging the lower ribs in, tucking the tailbone. Biceps up by ears. Let's have 3 nice deep breaths here in our warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Keep relaxing through the shoulders. Drawing energy up through the soles of the feet, staying strong in those legs. One more breath. Lovely. When you're ready, we're gently going to release. So just opening up into your warrior two, opening up through the hips, and sinking down nice and deep into this right leg. So this time you want your back foot parallel with the back of your mat. So just spin that heel slightly, sink a little deeper. So you should be able to come a little lower in your warrior two. Taking your gaze over the middle finger. Remember, shoulders stacked above the hips. Keep this right thigh tracking over the, tracking in line with the ankle and the foot. 3 big breaths. Keep reaching those fingers in opposite directions. 1 more breath. Beautiful, gently releasing. So taking your hands to your hips, let's make our way to our high lunge. We're going to pivot. We're going to pop that left foot in slightly and just pivot round. So lift that back heel, sink down into the lunge. So look at my back leg, back heel is as high as I can get it. Nice right angle in my right knee. Hands come to hips, beautiful. Taking those arms up. So spread through the fingers, so really activate through the arms and the hands. Imagine you're holding a nice big beach ball. Try and find something to focus on. Relaxing through the shoulders. Nice deep breaths. Keep engaging through this left glute, through the left quad, lifting the back of the knee. Beautiful, gently release. Hands come to heart center. Well done. So we're going to have a little go at that balance again. So everyone just hop the left foot forward just a little bit, and we'll begin to bounce. So we're going to bring that weight into the right foot. So when you're ready, lifting that left leg, lengthening through the right, hinging at the hips, pressing through the ball of the left foot, coming into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Keep those hips nice and square. Keep lifting if you can through the left leg. All your awareness into the strength of that right leg. Two more big breaths here. Don't worry if you fall out. Have a little go, come back in. And then the chest and the challenge, just release back in slow motion. Beautiful. Coming back into your warrior two. Hips are open to the side again. Back heel 90 degrees. Beautiful. Sinking nice and low. So from here, straightening out through the right leg. we're going to come into our triangle. So just release your hands to your hips and just feel for that hip crease again. So find that little point where you're going to tilt the pelvis. So tilting the pelvis as much as you can, reaching those right fingers forwards. When you can't reach any further, windmill those arms all the way down. So your left fingers are coming up to the sky, right fingertips down to the ground. If you find this too much work on the shoulder, you can always release your left hand behind you, or the top hand behind. Should have told you that the first time, apologies. Remembering to release the neck down if it's uncomfortable. And again, keep opening, so whatever you do, don't roll forwards. Stay nice and open. 2 more breaths here, micro bends in the knees. Beautiful, inhale, gently coming all the way back. Lovely. Pivot those feet in, hands to the hips. And we're just going to do heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Coming to a nice wide stance, so our feet are hip distance apart. Turning those toes so they face out. Bring the hands to the hips, and when you're ready, just gently sinking your bottom all the way down. Coming into our yogic squat. So you might want to shuffle your feet about, finding a position that feels good for you. If you're up on the toes, absolutely fine. Opening up through that chest, just gently rocking from side to side. If this is really not for you, you can place a cushion under your bottom. Come down to cross-legged, absolutely fine. But this is called Malasana, so this is a lovely hip opener. Keep lengthening up through the spine, keeping a little bit of engagement in those quads and the hips. 2 more breaths here. Beautiful, and we'll gently release all the way down. Oh, so you can come back down to your mat. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together and just come into our Baddha Konasana, so butterfly pose. So if you want your cushions underneath you again, absolutely fine. Gently roll the flesh away from the sit bone, so a nice comfortable sitting point. Take hold of your feet, and now the closer your heels are in towards your groin, the steeper the stretch is going to be. So if you want to make it stronger, bring them in. If you want to release a bit, bring the feet forwards. We'll just start to lengthen through the spine. So you're holding onto your feet, you're pulling onto your feet. Shoulders relaxed, chest is open. Actively begin to press your knees down to the ground. So this might be absolutely enough for you. If you want to take it a little further, you add in a forward fold. So we just gently begin to bring the body forwards. Perhaps you could hook one elbow, maybe 2, to the outside of the shins. And release down into a forward fold. So nice, deep, steady breaths. Come back to your breath. As you breathe in, make your space. As you breathe out, allow the hips to open just a little bit more. So this is a really lovely stretch for hip opening. Something you can even do when you're watching telly, sat around at home playing with your kids. It's a really nice stretch. Really gets deep into those hips, those adductor muscles. Beautiful, gently release, so rolling all the way back up, nice and slowly. We're going to give those knees a little hug. I'm just going to spin round. So we're going to take it into a little forward fold, another forward fold, and then a twist. So I want you to take your left leg out nice and long. Press away with the ball of the foot, give that right knee a little hug in. And we're going to take this into a twist. So this is sage pose. So we're going to bring our right arm up and simply just release it behind. Beginning to rotate round to our right, give your right knee a little hug with your left arm. So if you want to try and make this a little bit fancier, you could have a little go at a bind, which is releasing that left arm through the gap, picking the right arm up and reaching round, looking, finding, maybe not finding, but aiming to find your left hand. Keep that right shoulder lovely and open, nice and long in the spine. Beautiful, coming back to center. So we're just going to drop this right knee out to the side, flex through the left toe, so press through the heel of the foot, apologies. Rotating round to face over your left leg, and just gently coming down. So walking your hands forwards nice and slowly. Keep pressing this right knee down to the ground. Keep shining your heart forward. So if you're up here, absolutely fine. I want you to feel the stretch in the hamstring, but I don't want you to feel any pressure in the back. So if need be here, you take a little bend in that left knee, and it might release from the back. It might allow you to come down a little bit further. So wherever works for you. If you have the bend in the knee, try and get that contact between the chest and the thigh. Keep pressing away with the back heel, and then begin to work that left knee back down to the ground. Nice long breath. Beautiful. So from here, just gently walking your hands back, sitting up nice and tall, just releasing that right hand behind your right hip. I want you to lift your left arm, so we're opening through the chest. And if that feels okay, you might want to roll up onto that right knee and just lift those hips. Lovely little release. Nice heart opener, little back bend. Beautiful. Gently rolling all the way back down. Well done, guys. Lovely. So we'll take that on the other side. So from here, we're going to take that left knee in, press away with the ball of the right foot. So we have different toes in yoga. We have pointed toes, flex toes, or yogi toes. So we're going to press that ball away. So the base of the big toe and along that joints, all pressing away, giving this left knee a nice big hug. Let's take our left arm up. And let's release it around behind us as we come into our twist. So hugging the left knee in towards us, rotating around behind us. Keeping nice and long, don't come backwards here, keep nice and long. Again, if you want to make it fancy, you can thread your right hand through the gap between your legs, walking that left hand around, looking for the bind. Beautiful, gently release. Coming back to center, we'll just take this left knee all the way out to the side, so releasing it down to the floor. Sole of the left foot comes into the right thigh, flexing through those right toes, turning the torso to face over the right leg and gently walking the hands down. Releasing over your leg, so again, up to you here. We don't want to feel it in our lower back, so if you need be, take a bend in the right knee, release the chest down. If you're up here, absolutely fine. Keep the spine long wherever you are. Breathing into the back of the right knee and the hamstring. Nice deep breaths, finding softness, keeping that face nice and soft. So hold on to your tension anywhere. Body is letting go. Beautiful, rolling back up, nice and gently. We're going to take our left hand around behind us, pressing down into that hand, lifting the right, so opening through the chest. Option to stay here, or option to roll up onto that left knee, right toes come down. Heart is coming up to the sky, so we're sending that chest all the way up to the sky. Beautiful, gently release. Well done, coming back round. Beautiful. So we're just going to hug both, bring both soles of the feet to the centre, squaring everything off. We'll just do a little bit of core work. So coming onto the tippy toes, holding onto the back of the legs, lengthening up through that spine, shoulders relax. We're going to lift our feet so our calves are parallel with the floor, and you can keep holding your thighs here, Or you can release the hands down so they're alongside your legs, and we're going to hold this for 5 breaths. So really engage through that core, through the legs, keep opening up through the chest. Keep lifting, squeezing those legs together. Don't let the feet drop down. Keeping long in that spine, chest is open. As you breathe in, hug the knees in just a little bit more. Beautiful. One last deep breath, guys. Nice inhale. And exhale, releasing the feet down to the ground. Give yourself a lovely big squeeze. Well done, everyone. So we're just going to roll our way down to the floor. So you can just shuffle the bottom forwards. Gently release the body down. And we'll take a little bridge. So hands coming down, fingertips just grazing the soles of the feet. Grounding down into the palms of the hands. We're going to begin to roll up through our tailbone. So feet are aligned with the hips, knees are aligned with the hips. Tailbone is rolling up. When you get to a point where you can't come any higher, maybe just roll your shoulders underneath you. Keep lifting. It's important here though to keep your neck in line with your spine. So don't look left or right. So try not to look at the screen. Try and look directly above you. Gently lifting the chin. Keep pressing into the feet, pressing into the hands. Keep lifting those hips. Nice deep breath, squeezing through the glutes. Squeezing through the thighs. Whenever you're ready, you're going to gently release. So releasing the shoulders first. And then really super slowly allowing the spine to come back down piece by piece. So you can almost feel every vertebra stacking its way back down to the floor. Tailbone is the last thing to come down. Beautiful. And we'll just take one knee in and the other knee in. Wrapping your arms around nice wide legs and just begin to roll from side to side. Lovely little release for the lumbar spine, should feel quite nice. Beautiful. We're going to take this into a happy baby, so just bring our hands inside our legs and take hold of the outside of our feet. So we're going to try and get the soles of our feet up towards the ceiling. So again, you can keep rocking. I want you to actively draw your feet down. So we're squeezing our feet down. You should feel a nice deep stretch in those hips. Still rocking from side to side, letting everything go. Beautiful, well done everyone. We're going to finish in Supta Baddha Konasana, so the same pose we did in the seated variation. So soles of the feet come together and the knees begin to release. So you can bring your hands onto the thighs. Just begin to close off the eyes now. Just feel the body begin to let go. Allowing those knees to just gently release down to the ground. Allowing the shoulders to release. Let your breath just come back to natural breath. So the belly is soft. Inhaling and exhaling organically. And just noticing how the body is feeling. Feeling all that lovely space we've created. So when you're ready, we're going to come to our Shavasana, our corpse pose. So if you want to, you can bring the soles of the feet to the floor and stay with bent knees. It's great if you've got any back issues. Otherwise, we're just sending our legs nice and long, lengthening through the body. You can take a nice full body stretch here if that feels good. Reaching those fingers up behind you, pointing the toes. And then just gently releasing the hands down by your side, palms facing up. Close off the eyes. Allow the body to sink down into the ground. Allow the body to be heavy. And just allow yourself a few minutes here of complete and utter calmness and stillness. Try not to let the mind wander. Try and stay in the present moment and just absorb all those lovely benefits from your practice today. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Staying here as long as you want. Namaste.